Good morning, children.
Morning, ma'am.
Morning, ma'am.
We are going to continue with AIDS, which we were discussing last class. And we learned about the life cycle of the retrovirus HIV. What happens to your body once HIV enters, all that in detail, the steps we have learned. And you have to make sure that you're thorough with that picture of the diagram given in your textbook regarding the replication of HIV virus. It was asked once that same diagram was given and the markings written over there, they erased and had put A, B, C. So you should be thorough with each and every figure. Along with the theory part, when you're learning, when you're reading the textbook, please give equal weightage to all the diagrams. It may or may not come. So seeing the trend, since a few years, I'm saying this. So to be on the safer side, towards the end, if you go for learning all these diagrams, you will find it difficult. But as and when you are learning a particular topic, along with that, you learn it and make small chits in colored paper. I've seen in some of your textbooks earlier that as and when you're learning your mnemonics or key points, you used to write it down there. You know about concept maps? Mind map or concept maps, you might have learned, no? How to prepare concept maps. You know or you don't know? I'll post some samples in the WhatsApp group. Okay. Just get an idea. Just get an idea. Some of you might be knowing about concept maps. So the advantage is that if concept maps you are preparing based on a particular chapter, seeing that concept map, you won't get the entire details, but like a flow chart, no? All the points in that chapter, like points, like bubbles, arrows, you can represent it, and at a glance you will get an idea what are the points included. You won't get a detailed explanation. I'll give you samples today itself, just remind me. Okay, then so we are going to continue with the lesson. One of you can just quickly tell me the main steps involved in the replication. Vidur, I'll start with you. Begin. I will ask others to continue.
So
Once it is entering your body.
HIV gets into the body of the person, then it enters macrophages, which acts as HIV factory.
Okay. Anthony.
RNA genome replicates to form viral DNA.
Hmm. What do you call the process?
Reverse trans,
Correct? Reverse
trans, transcriptase.
transcription. Reverse transcription. And the enzyme involved is reverse transcriptase. Rijas, next.
These viral DNA incorporate into host DNA.
Then, yes, then what happened? Meenakshi, once it has got incorporated into the viral DNA, it becomes part of viral DNA. And then,
Affected cells will produce the viral particles.
yes. So affected cells will follow the orders of this DNA and they will start producing more and more virus particles. Then next target, Sharon, to where they will
HIV enters into T cells.
T cells means T cells are what type of cells?
Helper.
Okay, but under which category it comes? Lymphocytes. Okay, then Steffi.
It replicates and produces progeny virus.
Then Naureen.
The progeny viruses released into the blood will attack the other T cells.
And then Punya, if this continues, what will happen?
T cells will decrease in immunity.
And T cells are responsible for providing you, Gayatri?
Protection against such virus.
Protection. Specific word.
Antibodies.
Oh?
Antibodies.
Pardon?
Antibodies.
Antibodies are for what? What is the basic idea behind releasing these antibodies? Or we get?
Immunity. Immunity.
Yes, immunity. So what will happen to your immunity power?
Immunity decreases.
Weakens. Even though the point of entry, you have learned in lower classes that, I think class 9 you have learned, there is a connection. Majority of the diseases, there is a connection between the point of entry and the organs affected. Like if it is entering through the nose, the target will be your respiratory system. Entering through your mouth, the target will be your digestive system or associated glands. Okay, in majority, many of the diseases. But AIDS is such a disease where there is no connection between the point of entry and the organs affected. It is a lymphatic system. Your immune system is getting affected, even though they are entering either through the blood or through the body fluids. But it is affecting the immune system and reducing your immunity power. Your immunity power, once this virus is inside your body, day by day it gets diminished, and you won't be able to. In a normal person, if he gets a disease, your body has inborn innate immunity, or by means of that, or with the help of the immunity power, he'll be able to recover from the disease sooner or later. But in case of a person who's affected by AIDS, even a minor disease can take the worsened form because they don't have the immunity power to resist and control these other diseases. So even a common cold can change into bronchitis or pneumonia because their immunity power keeps on diminishing. And recently also you might have learned, or you might have heard in the newspapers regarding the significance of immunity power associated with this COVID-19. What have you learned related to this immunity power and what to say, manifestation of certain other diseases? One important disease we heard, no? Those who have recovered from corona, they are affected with so and so disease. What is that? Correct, black fungus. You didn't hear about it? You didn't read in the news, or you might have seen in the TV news. Black fungus is actually, we come in contact with this particular fungus on a regular basis. But because of our immunity power, it cannot cause any disease in us. But in corona recovered patients, their immunity power has got diminished after the attack. So in them, as a second attack or another disease, as a secondary disease, not in all, but in some of them, this black fungal disease was reported. Okay, so immunity power has got a great role in defending or protecting your body from infections. So you need to strengthen your immunity, and you need to take all the precautions. So wherever the diseases are not having a cure, we have learned prevention is better than cure. All the diseases are not having cure, as we said in the case of AIDS. So what you can do is to take all the precautionary measures so that you will not get the disease. Even if there are some curative medicines, or if there is a cure for the disease also, it's always better to take precautions. So like in present situation also, you're advised to use sanitizer, wear double mask nowadays. But you might have noticed people how they wear the mask. Nose will be left outside and remaining mouth portion they will cover. And sometimes they will pull the mask and keep it on the neck region. Maybe to facilitate talking and all, they'll remove it. And it is true that since we were not wearing it earlier, we will have some suffocated feeling, all that. But you have to tolerate or withstand all that, because it is meant for protecting us from these infections. The lesser the chances to get exposed, lesser will be the chance to get the disease. So whenever you step out, take all the necessary precautions. Okay, Michael. Mehak can turn your video on. So the person suffers from infections due to bacteria. I told you about different secondary infections. So in case of a person who is affected by AIDS, his immunity power gets diminished, and he can suffer from several bacterial infections. Like for example, mycobacterium, different viruses, fungi, and even parasites like toxoplasma. So all these diseases, this can be easily, or the AIDS patients can get easily affected by all these diseases caused by the different other microbes. I think mycobacterium, you might be knowing, it can cause diseases like tuberculosis, then viruses, fungi. Toxoplasma is a parasite and it affects your, once you're affected by this particular organism, you get a disease known as toxoplasmosis. You don't have to learn about it. Toxoplasmosis. And the symptoms include swollen lymph glands. Lymph glands will get swollen, especially in the neck region. Then muscle pain, muscle ache, headache, fever. Then lungs can get inflamed. So many symptoms will appear. So what you need to know is that they are easily prone to infections by other microbes. They are already affected by HIV. Apart from that, they suffer from other infections also because since their immunity power is very less, they are easily prone to other infections. The patient becomes so immunodeficient. We learned why the immunity power is getting diminished. He or she is unable to protect himself or herself against these infections. Normally, in a person, they have immunity power. To a certain extent, it will defend your body from infections. Children, now you might be thinking if your immunity power is that strong, then how do we get disease? Why we are getting diseases? But children, every time when the microbe is entering your body, you're not getting the disease. It goes unnoticed. Okay, when your immune system or when the soldiers there in your body are so strong, they can easily win the battle and you don't know, you are not realizing that you've got a disease. And you don't realize, but then sometimes there can be different reasons. Maybe the microbe entering is so powerful or your body is weak at that time. Maybe you're not having nutritious food. Different reasons are there. And these microbes entering can be so strong that the soldiers or the antibodies or the lymphocytes in your body cannot defend them. So there are many reasons. And you might get the disease under different conditions. But many times they might be entering your body. You are getting exposed to these microbes on a daily basis, especially when you are moving out, not in the present situation. I'm saying earlier also when you are coming to the school, people are going for jobs. So chances are there for these microbes, for us to get encountered or exposed to these microbes. But every time the microbe enters your body and you're not getting the disease because your body is able to defend it and it is not expressed. The manifestation of the disease is not happening. The disease is not getting expressed and you're unaware of it. And even in the case of COVID-19, you might have heard that many people are getting, this microbe has entered their body, but not showing any visible symptoms. And it gets recovered, but they can be a carrier. Hope you're getting the point. We don't realize because they no visible symptoms in them. Maybe their immunity power is that strong and they don't show any visible symptoms, but they can be a carrier. And those who come in contact with these people might get the disease. So what I mean to say is that every time a microorganism or a disease-causing organism enters your body, you're not getting the disease. But sometimes, depending upon different conditions, you get sick. But AIDS patients, they are so immunodeficient. Their immunity is getting diminished day by day and they won't be able to defend themselves. Their immune system fails to defend their body from infections. And you diagnose this particular disease by means of ELISA test. And for years, people may not have any visible, the patients may not have any visible symptoms. Once this virus has entered your body, it takes a long time for incubation or the visible signs or some symptoms will appear years later. Maybe that particular person goes for a blood transfusion or for some reason when he's checking the blood only, he might come to know that he's having this particular disease. Symptoms might appear years later. This can be different for different people. And they don't, just like in other diseases, or it is not that the person will die within a year or two. Sometimes they will live for 10 or 20 years. But with this diminished immunity power, that is also, we cannot give a fixed time. That time span can be different for different people. But definitely, with the help of some drugs, you have learned already, it's very, very difficult to prepare antiviral drugs. Antibiotics are easy to prepare, which are effective against bacteria and other microbes. But antiviral drugs are very difficult to prepare. Do you know the reason? Do you know the reason? Anybody? Why it is difficult to prepare or make antiviral drugs? You've learned in class 9. Yes?
It's not entirely living.
It is not entirely?
Living.
Is it that the reason? There is a point there, but specific point I want.
It mutates also, so that.
Just a minute.
You're muted.
Kevin, were you answering? Were you answering?
Yes, ma'am. I said they mutate very quickly.
Louder?
Ma'am, they mutate very quickly and it's hard to.
Any other point? Anyone else? You have learned it in class 9. There is a, like, from what Punya said, you can develop on it. It's on the borderline between living and non-living.
They're only active when they attach to a protein.
Yes. How do they become active inside our body? Because they depend upon our biochemical mechanisms. They don't have any biochemical mechanisms of their own. Once they enter a host cell, they make use of the machinery of the host and multiply. Okay, so if we are using some medicines against viruses, it can affect the host. But in bacteria and other microbes, the situation is different. They have their own biochemical mechanisms. For example, when you take an antibiotic, say for example, penicillin, it will interfere with the process that deals with the cell wall formation in bacteria. So when this antibiotic is injected or taken into your body, it will interfere with some important biochemical mechanism of bacteria or other microbes. So, for example, I told when penicillin is taken, penicillin is the first antibiotic. I hope you have learned, no? You know about it. So once it is injected or once it is taken into your body, it can interfere with the cell wall formation in bacteria. So bacteria cannot make cell wall and they cannot survive. And it will get destroyed and you will be cured of the disease. But in the case of our viruses, these viruses are depending upon the host machinery. So if you prepare some medicines, it can damage the host also, but still the scientists have tried to, they have succeeded in preparing some antiviral drugs. And with the help of these drugs prepared for AIDS, we can extend the lifespan of the person. He can lead a normal life. We can extend his lifespan. But cure is not possible till date. So far, no complete cure is there for AIDS. We haven't, or scientists haven't found out any cure, any medicines to cure AIDS completely. But definitely, he can extend his lifespan and we can help the person or the patient to lead a normal life to a certain extent. Not completely free of the disease, but he can lead a better life. Okay, the diagnosis is carried out by ELISA test, enzyme-linked immunosorbent assay. That is the test used for identifying this particular disease. To know whether the person is HIV positive or negative, we go for enzyme-linked immunosorbent assay. You will learn the details about the same later. And antiviral drugs are partially effective. They can only prolong the life of the patient. As I told you, even though it is difficult to prepare antiviral drugs, with the help of that, we can help the person to extend his lifespan, but not cure the disease. No doubts, no? Shall I proceed? Prevention. If you know the causes, definitely you can tell about the precautions too. The different methods of preventing it. AIDS has no cure. Prevention is the, yes.
We cannot see the slide show.
Vidura, I'm not able to hear you properly. Can you leave a message? Oh, I haven't shared it.
Yes, ma'am, but I can't see the slide.
Okay, I'll check it once again.
This meeting is being recorded.
We have completed this. Now moving on to the next slide. Prevention, as I already told you, AIDS has no cure. Prevention is the best option. Creating awareness among people about AIDS. So as I told you, we haven't found out any medicines to cure AIDS. So we have to prevent, know what are the precautions and then take care of this particular disease by taking all the necessary precautions. We have to create awareness among people. So people should know how this disease is spreading so that they can take the precautions. Making blood safe from HIV. So when you receive blood from a blood bank, it should be made free of HIV virus. But nowadays, all that strict test before receiving as well as transfusing blood, all the necessary precautions or tests are carried out. All the matching tests, all these HIV and many other tests are also conducted before the blood is being received and transfused. So that is one important point. Then ensuring the use of disposable needles and syringes in public and private hospitals and clinics. I think I told you earlier during my childhood days and all, it was not disposable syringes. The same syringe which they used to sterilize after every use. But to take extra care, we have abandoned such type of syringes and we are going for single-use syringes. It will be used in one person and then it will be thrown away. So disposable syringes, it is compulsory that it has to be used and none of the hospitals or clinics are using the other type of syringes which are used, reused or used again and again. Everywhere only disposable syringes are being used so that there is no chance of spreading the infection through these needles. Free distribution of condoms. So that also you know why it is necessary, because one of the main method by means of which the disease spreads is by means of sexual contact. And when we learned about the different contraceptive devices, I had mentioned this point. It is desirable to use condoms as a contraceptive device because rather than apart from preventing conception, it will also prevent sexually transmitted diseases. But this advantage is not there for all the other contraceptive devices. So condoms are, it is an example of a contraceptive device which will prevent sexually transmitted diseases too. So that is why the condoms are freely distributed or at a nominal rate. Controlling drug abuse. Why it is important? Why drug abuse or what drug abuse has to do with the AIDS? Sharon, tell me why it is written controlling drug abuse. How can this help in preventing AIDS? Sharon, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Any idea what is the reason? I think I had told this in last class. Drug abuse and spread of AIDS. Anybody?
They use same needle.
Correct. Because when the needles are shared, so when these people who are abusing the drugs, when they sit in groups and when they inject it in their vein, this can result in the spread of the disease, provided one among these or one among the member is having this particular disease. Okay. If one of the members is having this disease, when they share these needles or share the same needle to inject these medicines or drugs, there are chances that the others also get the disease. Advocating safe sex and promoting regular checkups for HIV susceptible populations. So safe sex already, it is related with what I told, free distribution of condoms. So by using some precautionary measures before having sexual contact, we call it a safe sex. So that can prevent the mixing up of the body fluids and it will prevent this particular disease. And promoting regular checkups for HIV susceptible populations. So there who are prone to this particular infection, they should have regular or periodic checkups so that they can diagnose it at the earliest. You want me to repeat it again? AIDS is not having any cure. So prevention is the only option. So take all the necessary precautions and some of the methods are listed here. People should be made aware of the different methods or means by which AIDS spreads. Making blood safe from HIV, especially from blood banks. So before blood transfusion and before receiving blood from a person, necessary checkups are done. Ensuring the use of only disposable needles and syringes in private as well as public hospitals and clinics. Condoms should be freely distributed. Drug abuse has to be controlled because the people who are abusing the drugs, they might share the same needles, and if one among them is affected, the others might get the disease. And then promoting safe sex and regular checkups for HIV susceptible populations. No AIDS, no AIDS. So if you know how AIDS spread and all the different methods by means of which you can prevent it, there won't be any AIDS or there won't be this disease, or you can reduce, you can control the increase in the number of AIDS patients. In our country, National AIDS Control Organization, NACO, and other non-governmental organizations, NGOs, are educating people about AIDS, because once people are aware about it, once they are taking all the necessary precautions, so they will be free of this particular disease. WHO has started a number of programs to prevent the spreading of HIV infection, different campaigns through different mass communication media, different awareness programs are being are reaching the people, and so that they know all the necessary precautions to protect themselves from these dangerous disease. It's a malady that can be tackled by the society and medical fraternity acting together to prevent the spread of the disease. So all the members of the society and the medical fraternity, all those who are working in the medical field, they have to join their hands together so that we can keep away, or so that we can prevent the spread of this particular disease. I'll repeat again. National AIDS, all these abbreviations and expansions you should know. National AIDS Control Organization, NACO, and other non-governmental organizations. So they are educating the people about AIDS, because only by knowing the different AIDS, we can prevent this AIDS. Only by knowing the precautionary measures, you can prevent AIDS. Anthony, Naureen, Sania.
Ma'am, Nandane.
Yes?
Nandane.
Pardon?
Nandane group.
Leave a message. Your sound is echoing. I cannot understand. You leave a message. WHO, World Health Organization. WHO or World Health Organization has started a number of programs to prevent the spread of HIV infection. Okay, Vidur, I have admitted her. It's a malady which can be tackled, or this disease or this dangerous disease can be tackled only if the members of the society and those who are working in the medical field, they join their hands together. And that's all about AIDS. Any doubts? Any doubts? HIV as such or AIDS as such can be asked as an essay. The life cycle of HIV virus, the means of spread, the methods to prevent it. Together it can be asked as an essay question, or as 3 marks or 2 marks. You can expect many questions from this particular part because it's a topic of relevance. Before we proceed to the next disease, let me check whether you have followed. What happened to Nandana's connectivity today in between?
The power.
Okay. So we'll begin with Steffi.
Yes,
Just summarize the points, not in any order. We can just summarize.
From the prevention or from where?
Okay, you say the prevention. What are the different methods to prevent?
AIDS has no cure, so a syringe once used shouldn't be used on other person. It should be a single-use syringe.
Also syringes which are not reused. One word, what do you call such syringes which are not
syringes?
Oh,
single-use syringe.
Okay, disposable syringes. Then
okay.
Donna, then Another point to prevent?
Controlling drug abuse.
Controlling drug abuse. Yes, Nevin?
Creating awareness.
Creating awareness, very important point. Naureen?
Making blood from blood banks free from HIV.
The blood which is taken from the blood bank should be free of this particular virus, both receiving and donating. Okay, Sania?
Free distribution of condoms.
Yes, free distribution of condoms. Anna, last point?
Advocating safe sex and promoting awareness, promoting steps and other.
How do you diagnose the disease, Punya? Name the test.
ELISA test.
Expansion?
Enzyme linked immuno.
Sorbin. Okay. What else we learned? Only that? Some more points we mentioned, no? They get easily prone to infection. Some of the microbes I had mentioned. Vidar, tell me that point. Those who are affected by AIDS, they'll be easily, or they get easily prone to infections caused by?
Bacteria like mycoplasma, fungi.
Okay, mycobacterium, etc. 12:40 is the time, no? So we can continue. And the next is about a very, very dangerous disease, cancer. And everywhere, like you can hear about, like I think in majority of the families, you might have heard about one cancer patient at least. That is just like a fever, it is spreading. And there are many reasons. So many reasons are there. And we'll be analyzing all that, the different means of spread. It doesn't spread. I'm not saying that it will spread from one person to another. The different causes of that and the different methods of treatment, the types of cancer, all that we will be discussing. Okay. And it can affect any part of the body. And when I say it is very dangerous disease and difficult to be cured, at the same time, we should not forget that there are many cancer survivors who are leading a normal life. So it's very important that we should realize, we should diagnose it at the earliest. The earlier we are diagnosing or we are approaching, when you get some symptoms or signs of the same, if you approach a doctor and diagnose it earlier, the cure will be much easier. We know many eminent personalities, many celebrities are also there who have successfully won this battle against cancer. Okay, so there is nothing to be worried about this particular disease, even though we say it is very dreadful. Here also, you have to be very careful. At any time we spot any signs or symptoms, you should immediately approach a doctor so that we can diagnose it at the earliest and lead a normal life. Because the doctors also say that if we come to know about it early, we can cure it as easily as any other disease. But as the stages, there are different stages, stage 1, stage 2, 3, 4, like that. But if we proceed to the final stages, then it will be very difficult to save the life of the person. So let us see more about cancer. Cancer is an abnormal and uncontrolled multiplication of cells resulting in the formation of tumor. Mass of cells. Tumor means a mass of cells. You know that in your body, cell division takes place systematically. It takes place systematically. There is a normal pace with which the cell divides. But due to several reasons, your cells will start to divide uncontrollably. And when it starts to divide uncontrollably, it will form a heap or a mass in a particular region. We call it as a tumor. It's an abnormal and uncontrolled multiplication of cells resulting in the formation of a tumor. Normal cells, they show contact inhibition, very important property of a cells. Contact inhibition means when the cells come in contact with the other cells, their uncontrolled growth will be inhibited or prevented. There is I told cells definitely divide, but it is within a control. You know that cell division is very important for the growth, repair of the damaged parts of your body. For all that, cell division has to take place. But when it is going in a normal pace, it is not causing any disease. But due to different reasons, uncontrollable growth can take place, which might result in the formation of cell masses, which you call as tumor. Normal cells will not exhibit this property because they show contact inhibition. Contact inhibition means when a cell comes in contact with the other cell, their uncontrolled growth will be prevented. But cancer cells have lost this property. So I told you many reasons are there, will be analyzing, including genetic reasons. So one by one, we'll be seeing all the reasons or all the courses and also methods of treatment, all that types, all that you will be learning. So I hope you have understood what is meant by a tumor and what results in it, the basic reason why it results in tumor. Once again, cancer is the abnormal and uncontrolled multiplication of the cells, which will result in the formation of tumor. Cancer cells do not have the property of contact inhibition, which normal cells possess. So in normal cells, once they come in contact with the other cells, their uncontrollable growth will be prevented. Tumors are of two types: benign and malignant tumors. Benign tumors and malignant tumors. Benign tumors means there can be a mass of cell or a tumor at a particular region. It's confined to the place of its origin. It doesn't, from that particular region, you might have heard that a person affected by a cancer in a particular part, later he is diagnosed with a cancer affecting some other part. But in case of benign tumors, that doesn't happen. The tumor is limited to that particular place. Once it is surgically removed, you will be free of it. It will not cause further complications, cause little damage. Benign tumors cause little damage, whereas malignant tumors, malignancy, if the cancer is malignant, then it is dangerous. Mass of proliferating means multiplying cells called neoplastic or tumor cells. You call it as malignant tumor. They grow rapidly and they attack and damage the surrounding tissues which are normal. And they starve normal cells by competing for vital nutrients. And that is why cancer patients, you might have seen, how much ever they eat, they'll become very weak. You can see them losing their weight. Whether they eat or not, you can see that drastically they will be reducing their weight. So benign tumors are confined to the place of origin, less damage, whereas malignant tumors, these are mass of proliferating, multiplying cells. We call them as neoplastic tumor cells. What is the speciality of neoplastic tumor cells? They multiply rapidly, and the danger is that they don't remain, they are not confined to that place. They move to other via bloodstream, they will move to other parts of a body, and where they get lodged, they will attack those tissues also, and they will starve the normal cells. So they'll compete, the cancerous cells will compete with the normal cells for the nutrients, and finally the normal cells won't be getting enough amount of nutrients, and the patient also will lose their weight drastically. Any doubts? Any doubts? Benign tumor, confined to the place of its origin, less damage. Malignant tumors, these are mass of proliferating cells. You call them as neoplastic cells. What is the special property of these neoplastic cells? They grow rapidly, attack and damage the other tissues, and they affect the other tissues also because there arises, because these cells are multiplying rapidly. So they compete with the normal cells, and the normal cells won't get sufficient amount of nutrients. That was about the types of tumors. So quickly summarize those who did not say answers so far. Michael, can you tell me what is meant by a tumor? Michael, are you there?
Yes, ma'am. It's an abnormal or uncontrolled multiplication of cells.
Connectivity is still the same, Michael? Michael,
I think it's okay.
it got better. Okay, good. Now, Vidur, tell me what is meant by contact inhibition? Unmute.
Ma'am, I was not there.
Did I ask you whether you have any doubts? Then why you didn't tell me that? Sania, what is meant? Listen, I'll ask you to repeat. Contact inhibition.
When cells come in contact with other cells, they inhibit multiplication.
Once cells come in contact with the other cells, its cell division will be inhibited, or the division will be inhibited, but this property is not found in cancerous cells. Vidur, what is contact inhibition? Repeat.
When one cell gets contact with the other cells, the cell division will not.
There. Cell division in the sense that the uncontrollable growth will be prevented. So that is not found in
Cancerous cells.
Okay, good. What are the two types of cancer? Gayatri?
Benign and malignant.
Benign and malignant. Which one is dangerous, Malavika? Which one is fatal? Malignant. Tell me about malignant tumors. Donna?
They destroy the surrounding normal tissues. And
how? They will multiply rapidly, then they move to
normal tissues.
Move to other locations and they get lodged over there and attack those cells. What do you call those tumor cells? A special name I told. Starting with N. Who can help out? Yes, neoplastic cells. You call it as neoplastic cells, neoplastic tumor cells. So they won't be limited to their place of origin. They'll move to other places and they'll start a tumor over there. And what about benign tumor, Anna? Benign tumor? Anna's video is stuck. Punya, what are benign tumors?
They are confined in the place of origin.
And they don't cause
much damage.
Okay, so we'll wind up. Next period we'll meet. 2, 3 are absent, no? Okay, thank you, children. See you next period.